entered the HOG zone.
Y'all, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and we're down at on the island in one of these canal neighborhoods, and we're going to fish the canals, and then in the morning when the sun comes up, go out in the bay and cut around to the side. There's a marsh off to the side of this subdivision, so we're going to give it a shot and see what happens. Hopefully these people will have their green lights on, something a little different, and it won't be so hot going home tomorrow. Right here, Polo picked up a rat red, and as you can see, there's a full moon, and there was no mosquitoes, so it was awesome. I don't think we really would have noticed because we were really into these sand trout. They were just all over the place. We kept catching them. They kept coming into the boat, just one after another. They're pretty small. A lot of people don't keep them. You can see them right here in this green light. They're swimming through. We had a lot of fun just playing with them. If I would have changed my jig head and put on a smaller bait, we literally could have filled a cooler. This one here actually has some size on it. Probably would have been a good one to keep. Now, one of these lights we did see a 4-foot gar. I was actually hoping that a trout would get on my line and then that gar would hit the trout, but it didn't happen. Most of these fish we did throw back. If they really swallowed the hook and they were going to die, I just threw them in the cooler. So I actually came home with enough to make a meal. I guess about a half dozen of them. Morning fishermen are leaving. Sun came up and the bite was still on, except the trout started getting bigger. I just lost that one. That happened a lot. This one here had some size on it. As you can tell, they're getting a little bit bigger. So these are the good ones to keep. They're sand trout. A lot of guys use them for bait when they're small. I like eating them. It's just one after another, and it was like that all night long. It was great. A lot of fun. I was using a gulp. I was using all different lures all night long. You can see a fish in there. Then I caught this monster. Now, I've never caught a sand trout this big. I've never seen a sand trout this big. Some people call them a Gulf trout. Never heard of that, but now I know something new. But this sucker was big, so he went on the stringer. I was using a gulp, and he hit it like a champ. Right here, I was just freaking out. I was like, what is this thing? I actually measured it to make sure it wasn't a speckled trout with no speckles. We got done fishing right there, and we headed out into the bay, cut around to get over to the marsh. We worked the piers and stuff to get there. And that's the marsh right there. Now, I picked up this fish. I've never seen this fish before. Polo tells me it's a lizard fish. But it's got like the head of a snapping turtle. Check this out. And it's nothing but teeth in there. So anyway, I got my gulp back and he was okay, and so he went back in the water. Right here, Polo picks up a flounder. As you can tell, it's just massive. That's the biggest flounder I've ever seen. This pelican was chilling on this pole, so I took some pictures of him. I gotta get those artful shots of the wildlife while you're out there, making your video. Actually, I was bored. Finally got our butts up into the marsh, came in there, fishing along. I've never been in this marsh, but it's really nice and it's really large. I casted to that little point right there at that cut, and boom, fish on. I checked this flounder out when I'm about to put him in the net. He starts really vibrating. You can see it right here. If I ever grab my net, here he comes. Landed. He's a good sized flounder. I ain't gonna complain. I was using the Chicken Boy lure. I think that's called a Bloody Mary. I love that thing. I was catching everything on it. And if you see my Dr. Pepper under that flounder, it tasted really good after I put that fish back in the water on the stringer. I didn't notice the blood. Continued to work the marsh, had a different type of Chicken Boy lure on there. I think it's a Bubba Clucker or something. Like them lures, but a hardhead hit it. In case you don't know, hardheads are just a catfish. You can eat them. I have eaten them, but you don't get any meat off of them. They're a lot of work for nothing. And they steal bait. Polo hooked into a speckled trout right here, pulled it up. I think he was real happy. Ta-da! We kind of floated up through this marsh. Luckily it was deep. A lot of times these marshes are only about 6 inches deep, but we were able to paddle through here. It was probably about 2 foot deep maybe. Casting right over Polo's head, off to the side of him. He didn't complain. This is kind of like a little channel just working through there. As we were heading back, I snagged one of these lizard fish again, teeth and all. So I gave him a shake and he went back in the water. They're kind of a pretty fish, but probably just another bait stealer. Anyway, it was a good day at the marsh, in the canals. Had a blast.
You have entered the HOG zone.